on to Dallas, along with, where are you? Doug Maurice here in the Superdome in New Orleans with Bill Landis. And Ari Wasserman here next to the victory platform on the field at the Superdome after Ohio State stood on that platform not too long ago and celebrated the Buckeyes' 42-35 win in a college football playoff semifinal in the Sugar Bowl, and they're going to play for a national championship. And guys, just like we said after the Virginia Tech game, just like we said after the Buckeyes struggled at Minnesota and with Michigan and Indiana, all along we all said this was a national championship caliber team, and we knew they were going to play for a title. I cannot believe this has happened. We all picked Alabama, and in the video, and we all picked Alabama, we said, we'll probably be wrong, and we'll see you in Dallas. So we're going to Dallas January 12th. And of all these things, Ari, this has been an amazing season. This was an amazing game against Alabama. What was the most surprising thing after months and on a night where there were lots of things that shocked us?
I'm obsessed with writing about and studying recruiting, as we all know. Alabama was a more talented team on paper based on the way they recruited. And the player, to me, that looked like they had the most SEC speed and the most dominant defensive presence in the game was a 3-star quarterback from New Albany, Ohio, in Darren Lee.
Who's cocky.
Who's very cocky. Good story, by the way. I liked it. I liked the angle. You did good. Wasn't that unreal? Like the way he flew to the ball, and we've seen glimpses of it this year. I mean, reason why they recruited him is because they said that he gave them kind of a Ryan Shazier type feel, and Ryan Shazier flew to the ball like nobody that we've seen the last few years. But Darren Lee used that speed, that athleticism. I mean, he's a sure tackler. He gets to the ball. He has good instincts. He altered the game. He made huge plays. And it's funny, we talk about all these 5-star recruits all the time and these dynamic talents, and I'm not going to diminish it because that's very important. That's a real deal way to be playing in games like this, and Ohio State and Alabama were both in this game because they have 5-star talents. But out of all that stuff, the guy that I felt on defense for Ohio State, and maybe the best defender in the entire game, was a guy who didn't even play linebacker in high school, was from Ohio, and had to go to camp 3 times to earn his Ohio State offer. That's what I'm most surprised about.
And I did write about Darren Lee before the game Thursday. He is supremely confident. And I think that showed up in a game like this because you can be fast and not play fast. He plays fast because he's not worried about, am I doing the right thing? He's certain that he's doing the right thing, even if he's not. And then it allows you to go do that. And interestingly enough, Joey Bosa is the best athlete on Ohio State's defense. He was not a dominant presence, and I'm assuming, I wasn't watching him every play. Probably Alabama did some things to stop him. It helps free up other guys, but Darren Lee was the guy who flew around. Bill Landis, what shocked you?
Part of the reason why I picked Alabama, and I talked about it in the video, was that the depth for me created too much of a separation between these two teams for me to think Ohio State could win. And I think the point where that was illustrated the most was on Alabama's defensive line when you talked about 10 guys, or I think Tom Herman even said 12 guys who are my size but very much more athletic than I am.
Don't sell yourself short.
Okay, just a shade more athletic than I am. Those guys are really good, and they're gigantic, and they're fast. And Ohio State's offensive line, I thought, was not going to be able to move them around, and they did. I mean, Ezekiel Elliott ran for 54 yards on the first drive of the game, and then he just kept pounding the ball and pounding the ball and pounding the ball. I don't think Zeke got tackled in the backfield once. I mean, I could be wrong, but I don't remember him being tackled in the backfield once. The way Ohio State ran the ball was really shocking to me. I thought they would try to run it because they had to, because they couldn't put it squarely on Cardale Jones' shoulders. But for Elliott to have 230 rushing yards against an Alabama defense that hasn't allowed a 100-yard rusher all year, and I think it's only 15 in the last 9 years, that was really incredible to me.
Cardale Jones came out and threw an early pick. There was a miscommunication with Devin Smith. Both of them sort of took responsibility for it afterward. Both were frustrated in the moment, combined with an Ezekiel Elliott fumble that was 2 short fields, 2 easy touchdowns for Alabama off Ohio State turnovers. It was a 21-6 lead, and it looked like an example of, there were some games where Ohio State turned it over and lived to tell the tale earlier this year. And you thought, okay, it's catching up with them. And Cardale Jones didn't care. Cardale Jones, I thought, made more difficult throws. I said, did you have to make more difficult throws than you did against Wisconsin? He said, not really, but he was throwing in the middle of the field. He did hit some deep balls, but it wasn't just easy lobs on the outside. He made big throws on third down. He ran the ball. I think we both talked to him afterward, and he was like, I don't know, it was no big deal. It was like he made a lot of really good decisions when I thought he was right on the precipice of, okay, he's hit the wall. Alabama's too good. This moment is too big. He's a third stringer. What are you going to do? And instead, it was a speed bump, and then they kept rolling. And Cardale Jones, it wasn't like he was a game manager. He absolutely helped them win this game with runs, with big physical runs, with open field up the middle runs on scrambles, with putting balls right on guys' hands. Jalen Marshall across the middle, over the middle a couple times. I'll tell you what, I did not believe in Cardale Jones that he could do it against Wisconsin. I didn't think, even after that great performance, he would be able to step up and do it here. That guy is, for a third-string quarterback to do what he has done the last 2 games, is unbelievable, and he deserves all the credit in the world. So we're going to Dallas. We've got a lot of stories coming your way. It's the middle of the night. We're going to put a bunch of stuff up Friday. We're going to have stuff through the weekend. We're going to be talking to Ohio State in Columbus next week, and then we will head to Dallas on Friday. Be there for the weekend. The game is on Monday, January 12th, against Oregon. It's a rematch of the Rose Bowl from a couple years ago, but this one's for the whole thing. So, again, sorry we were wrong. I'm sure there are Buckeye fans out there who believe in their heart that the Buckeyes were the best team the whole year. They didn't look like it at times, and here we are. And so all credit to them, and, maybe my final record for the season will be like 5-10 or something. For Ari Wasserman, for Bill Landis, I'm Doug Lesmerises here in the Superdome in New Orleans. Ohio State victorious, on to Dallas.